Welcome back to Chris is Losing It. I'm restarting carnivore and fasting. Today I'm going to talk about why I stopped and why I'm back. So I'm back into carnivore and fasting again after falling off the wagon about 6 months ago. And I want to talk honestly about why I stopped, what's changed, and what I'm trying to do now. Not because I think anyone should copy me necessarily, but because speaking it aloud helps me to make it real. So the background, where it started, I began this whole thing right after my breakup, which was on the 1st of March 2025. One of those breakups that completely rips through your nervous system. It was a difficult relationship and an awful breakup. So I had been depressed for quite a while, and I got to a weight of 285 pounds. That's about 129 kilos, just over 20 stone. And at first, the combination of fasting and carnivore gave me a sense of control, like I could claw something back from all the chaos. And I stayed strict for about 6 weeks, along with other things that I did at the time to improve my life. And I just knew I would be cooked if I didn't get things on track, at least, then. So in that time, I dropped to 235 pounds, 107 kilos. So I lost 50 pounds, which is amazing. So for once, I actually believed I would finish what I started. But then came Easter, and my brain said I'd earned an Easter egg. It was a lint bunny, actually. But I didn't stop there. Like, I rationalized, I'm off now. I'm off ketosis now. I can just do whatever for a little while and I'll just jump back on, just have the weekend. So it seemed harmless, but obviously it didn't stop there. That little hit of numbing out, or, I don't want to say pleasure. It threw me off, cracked something open. Suddenly I was back to carbs, back to numbing out, back to pretending that I'd start again tomorrow, and I never did. Tried a few times, had some false starts, but I never did. So it wasn't a gradual slide. It was instant. You're either in ketosis or you're not. So one day I was fasting, and the next there was some chocolate, and then the weeks and months have kind of blurred by since then. So I've hovered there. I didn't regain all the weight, but I didn't move forward like I wanted either. And when you're failing to do what you want, that really takes a toll. So I put on about 10 pounds, which I guess is mostly water weight. So now I'm about 245 pounds or 111 kilos. So I'm still down 40 pounds overall, but mentally I lost the thread. I was thrown off. So why I'm restarting now. So I started again this week, and I'm restarting because I can't stand the thought of staying like this, stuck, half recovered, half alive. Last time I was driven by the anxiety and I guess the pain of the breakup. The adrenaline from the breakup kept me moving. This time there's no emotional fire. I want to be clear. I seem to have PSSD or PFS, post-SSRI sexual dysfunction or post-finasteride syndrome. I'll do another video about what they are exactly, but basically I don't feel any drive or emotion because of anhedonia. I've been emotionally flat for years now. So it could be from trauma of that relationship. It could be a medication injury, but I can't rely on dopamine, testosterone, that sort of stuff. So instead of relying on a feeling of motivation, I'm relying on accountability and identity and trying to just make a habit. So I'm saying it publicly. I'm sticking to carnivore fasting. Now, I'm not going to jump in as cold turkey as I did in the past, but I'm saying this. Tracy Marks talks about affirming identity. Tell yourself who you are until your actions match it. So I'm improving my health, and I'm someone who keeps promises to himself. That's the plan. Speak it into existence. So the practical setup, I'm keeping things simple. I'm keeping things simple. Eggs and smoked salmon on eating. So the practical setup, I'm keeping things simple. On eating days, I'm going to have eggs and smoked salmon for breakfast, then bacon and steak, and maybe sometimes liver for dinner. What I did before, everything cooked in butter and nothing too fancy. I want to have 60-hour fasts in between eating days. So that'll be water with electrolyte tablets, Saxa So-Low, salt. Caffeine is okay unless I feel too wired, and diet soda is okay a bit. So I'm going to be having Nutrition Geeks Magnesium Glycinate and their D3 and K2 supplement. I'm not going to use a multivitamin this time because I feel like I feel better without them. So I'm basically doing what worked before with a couple of tiny changes. So pure carnivore with some smoked salmon for omega-3s. So my short-term aim in the next 6 weeks, so before Christmas, if I'm strict, I could reach my goal weight, I think, of about 175 pounds, like 79 kilos. But it's not really about that number. It's about repairing the systems that seem broken. So metabolism, hormones. I've had low testosterone, which improved when I lost that weight, and maybe some brain circuitry. I've been reading the work of Chris Palmer and Metabolic Mind. You should look them up. The more I learn, the more it makes sense to me that a metabolic repair could influence neural recovery. Things like neuroplasticity, BDNF, and mitochondrial signaling. So in simple terms, if I can stabilize my metabolism, I might finally give my brain a chance to heal from the trauma or what the medications did to it. Again, look up Metabolic Mind and the results they're having. So even if it doesn't fix everything, at least my hormones, my health, and my self-respect will be improved. Because I know that feeling good isn't going to come from one miracle protocol. It has to rest on basic pillars. So healthy weight, healthy diet, plenty of exercise, good sleep, having my finances in control, and good social connection. My sleep in particular has been awful. I wake up frequently, wake too early, never feel rested. So it could tie into the PSSD, but even if it doesn't, it's something I've got to improve through structure and routine. Because without good sleep, nothing else works. So why this feels extreme, but it actually isn't. So obviously 60 hours sounds like punishment, fasting. But really it's just compressing fundamentals, diet, discipline, rest into a form that my body can't ignore. And this isn't some improvised stunt. It links to so Metabolic Mind, this new organization, which uses ketosis for different types of therapy. They've come out, since I last did this, they've come out with this thing called a Think Smart protocol. I won't spell out what that acronym is for, but it's basically the same framework I was already instinctively following back in March and April. So they talk about tackling metabolic dysfunction through nutrition, ketosis, fasting, and it's to improve psychiatric symptoms. So I'm just moving faster along that track because frankly I don't have years to waste feeling like this. So what's different this time? Nothing about the plan is really different. The difference is that I no longer want the current situation to continue. So last time I was running on heartbreak and panic. This time I'm running on the quiet dread that I've just turned 40 and these things could be permanent, and I need to give myself the best chance of healing. So it's not inspiring, it's survival logic. So I'm just hoping that's going to be enough. So my mindset, honestly, if this is PSSD or PFS that's given me this anhedonia, lack of enjoyment, lack of pleasure and all the rest of it, lack of libido, that's, a serious, it's like a brain injury. I'm not expecting euphoria. I'm not expecting motivation to magically come back. So what I'm hoping for is some small evidence that my body will respond to these things, that discipline still matters, biochemistry can shift, there's something left to rebuild that I can work on, whether it's months or years. I just don't want to stay like this and feel like this for another 5-10 years, you know? So that's the thread I'm following. Because even if I never feel the old spark again, I can still act like someone who does, and over time that action can change the chemistry. So in closing, what I'm hoping to find, this is where I'm at. 245 pounds, restarting carnivore and fasting, not instantly, but, you know, having 18-hour fasts, throwing in carnivore meals in the first week, 2 weeks, because honestly, going cold turkey before, I got horrible headaches and diarrhea, and it was like my body trying to stop me from getting rid of the addiction, I think, because it was a coping mechanism. So I'm chasing stability, clarity, maybe some peace. I don't know if it will fix what I think is wrong with me, but I know that if I don't try, definitely I'm going to have other problems, you know. So if you're watching this because you're stuck too, physically, emotionally, whatever, the best place to start is with one controllable pillar. So it doesn't have to be fasting, it just has to be something that tells your brain that you're still here. Because that's what this is really about, proving I still exist underneath this numbness. So discipline first, enjoyment later. Don't forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment, whether it's about PSSD or PFS. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them in the video that I do about that. But yeah, thanks for watching and wish me luck. And look, if I can lose any weight without reward signals, without pleasure, without a sense of achievement from this, then if you've got those, you can definitely do it. Okay, so let's go.